came like a king, I lived like a legend.
Zero people.
That's one of the most stupid questions.
Zero people.
I play all my season. Was shit.
Hola, listeners. Welcome to Iberian Thursday. A lot has happened both in LaLiga and in Liga NOS. There's the ups of Atletico, the downs of Barca, and a pot of gold across the border. We're going to discuss this and much more in today's Thursday. Buenos dias, listener. Welcome to Iberian Thursday. What an amazing weekend that we had, and an amazing one ahead in both Spain and Portugal. Let's start by introducing our co-host of today. Hi, Marco, and hi, Ste.
Hola, hermano.
Hola, Alex.
Hola. So yeah, guys, let's start with Spain. A couple of highlights, lowlights, and some not so lights. We've seen Atletico number one. They're strong and stable. The same winning record as Milan, 8-1, 2 drawn. They have 6 wins in a row, and they have a bit like Inter in that situation, a lot of players scoring goals. So if we're looking at both João Felix and Suarez with 5, we have Llorente with 4. So there's a lot of players going around in this, despite their issues in the Champions League. How are you seeing their season, Marco?
I think that was my analysis in the beginning of the year. This season was key for the youngster player to really prove that they were ready to go to the next step. And we are seeing Llorente finally 25, really being at this top that we've ever seen. He was playing as a defensive midfielder, really. Now he's playing way more up front, and that completely changed Llorente in the pitch. I think that was key in this Atletico. Suarez for free, basically. I think there are no words to describe how important has been Suarez so far for Atletico, but also indeed João Felix being consistent in his performances, which he wasn't really last year. It looks like a very strong team. I'm gonna say it, I know it's early, but I would be extremely surprised were Atletico not to win the league.
Yeah, and don't forget one thing. You know what's Saturday? The Derby of Madrid, Atletico Real. Now that's a really interesting one for us to watch.
Yeah, paradoxically, I think that the key for Atletico winning of the league, it's not these very important matches. Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona. Don't think it's going to be this one. Well, let's see. Atletico Barcelona is still going to be a big game given Barcelona's performance, but we're going to touch upon that in a while. But either way, I think the key of Atletico is really being consistent with a small team, which Real Madrid is not, which Real Sociedad, despite the very strong start, is showing that the team is not hasn't the depth and the quality required to stay there for a long time. I think Atletico has that, and they should really capitalize on it.
Very interesting, guys. And then another team that we need to discuss on the lower end: 4 wins, 2 draws, and 4 losses. 3 losses in the last 6 games. We're talking about Football Club Barcelona. So talk to me about them, Ste.
Well, that's on one hand, that is a disappointment. On the other, I believe that many people saw that coming, and that surprisingly includes the 3 of us, because in the last summer we spent a lot of words on the Messi affair and how that could impact actually Barcelona's season. And unfortunately for Barcelona's fans, I believe that we are now seeing what we to some extent expected to happen, which is a divided team which does not play together, with a fair amount of good to excellent players, but who are not doing very well. And last week's loss against Cadiz has proven that right, I think.
Congratulations to Cadiz on that one. Let's be honest. We were all shocked when we saw Cadiz winning. I mean, there are limits. One thing is you lose to Atletico or to Sevilla, but losing to Cadiz, I mean, wow. Whew. Don't know if it says more about Cadiz or more about Barca.
Yeah,
But another interesting one, and that one we need to discuss because it's the topic of the whole season. Valencia, 16th now, so they're hanging on well. They're punching maybe above their weight, so they just lost 5 times in 11 games. Not too bad. And yeah, they're surviving. They might not go down. It looks a positive outlook for the team. Do you think they're?
Do you call positive outlook 2 points from relegation? For a team
Well,
that used to be stable in Champions League? Despite everything happening this summer, I wouldn't call it positive outlook.
Well, they made over 100 million euros. They bought no one, basically. They couldn't even get a player for free. They lost a player for free to Lazio. So if we think all of this, they couldn't buy a player for free. I mean, it's not horrible because probably some teams below them could have actually got a player for free.
4 point.
I think it's the time where Valencia needs to stop thinking they're Valencia and start playing as if they are Huesca, and start fighting for the point.
And that's the hardest thing, I think. That's by far is the hardest for this team. We've seen it so often in Italy that medium to large team that used to be stable in the Champions League. We have seen it with Chievo. We have seen it with Atalanta. We have seen it with Sampdoria. That have been up there, have been challenging for Europa League. Some of them even going there, and now very much struggling to just realize, oh, this is going to be the season we have to play. And Lazio themselves had this curve about 10 years ago. Mentally, is such a tough switch because you so easily fall into depression. The resilience that you have, it's also balanced compared to the level you were expecting your team to perform. The lower your result, the harder it is to stand up back on your feet and really challenge for that position.
Oh, definitely. That's very interesting in Spain. Also, it's a bit complex because some teams have 9 games, other 10, 11. So there's a bit of variety there. We still don't have a clean view at the standings. But where we have a clean view at the standings, and a quite nice one, is in Portugal. So there, no surprises in terms of the top 5 so far. A bit of surprise in terms of the order, we must all admit. We're seeing Sporting as first. So yeah, everyone is keeping calm. We're all breathing very well. We're all breathing due to a pot of gold, basically. So we have Pote. That's his nickname for Pedro Gonçalves, given by his grandma because he was very fat. So looking like a pot when he was a baby. 9 games, 10 goals. But again, this weekend he got a red card, so less optimal. Sporting drawing 2-2 with Famalicão. But staying first, 2 points ahead of Benfica. And in third, Porto, followed by Braga and Vitória de Guimarães. Here, very interesting this weekend, we had the Porto and Benfica winning both 4-3. What a game of Porto against Tondela. And Benfica 2-1 against Paços de Ferreira at home at the last second, scoring Lucas Waldschmidt. So I think clearly the highlight of the whole league could be Sporting, but I'm going to give it to Porto. Basically, all clubs should already start looking at the new Bruno Fernandes and thinking how much they're going to pay for him. Right, Marco?
I mean, a quality player, period. It's we shouldn't say anything that extra. The quality has shown, and I gotta be honest, I didn't see that coming in this match. Really, has been impressive. Definitely the highlight of the league, in my opinion. But we shouldn't also forget that young wingback of yours, who's proving to be just not too shabby, right, Alex?
Yeah. Actually, both. I have to admit, we also have Pedro Porro, the Spanish, on the other side, who's also been quite interesting. The both wingbacks are playing quite well, and even Siena's favorite centre back, Luis Neto, is starting Sporting.
He was strong in Italy. He was strong. I recall many teams were trying to get him back from the Eastern Europe, where he ended up spending most of his recent career. But he's definitely a strong midfielder and quite consistent, which is defender, quite consistent, which is key in my opinion for defenders. Little mistakes, just playing what he needs to, and never overcommitting or making it too complex when it shouldn't.
And a question in this case for Ste would be more, João Mario is now back at Sporting. What the hell happened in Milan? Because the guy, he came back and he's like the same. Those passes are like genius. The little grey worm guy, he's amazing.
Well, Alex, I would love to answer your question, but I believe that we have a very important business to do actually now in this moment. And of course, I'm talking about
Meme section of the day!
So for this week's, we are going to start our new segment called Zlatan or Jesus, in which I'm going to say a quote, which was done either by Zlatan or Jesus, and you listeners are going to try to guess who actually said that. So for this week, we have one person who is either Zlatan or Jesus talking to another person, and person A says, "Only God knows what will happen." At which person B replies, "Well, it's hard to ask God." But then person A says, "You are talking to him now." So who is it? Is it Zlatan or Jesus? Marco, Alex, try to participate. What's your guess?
I'm gonna go with
Zlatan.
Jesus.
So Alex says Zlatan and Marco says Jesus. And I will say that Alex is right, because this is a quote by Zlatan. So 1-0 for Alex, and we'll see what happens next week.
What a god.
Yes, but going back to sort of seriousness, sorry, Alex, what was your question? I almost forgot it.
In terms of João Mario, because he came back, playing amazingly well. So I just don't understand what happened. Did he get lost in Milan in Brera, or what happened there?
Yeah, maybe. I actually think that when he arrived at Inter Milan, João Mario had few good games, but then he lost himself in the dressing room or something like that, because Inter Milan changed a lot of managers in those years, but nobody liked him. Like none of those managers gave him a chance anymore. So I'm glad about João Mario doing okay now, and I definitely hope he's back on his feet. And I'm not sure about what happened with Inter Milan, honestly.
I think it's a lot about the role he's playing. He's somewhat of a box-to-box midfielder. In my mind, he's good at passes, but he also does the runs from the defense towards the attack, trying to really be in the gel of the team. In Inter, different managers have tried to either put him in front of the defense, playing it more as a Bakayoko, Rakante, or Thiago Motta, pick one, right? So staying there, getting the pass, and just doing the easy pass, which is not really, in my opinion, where he can show his best qualities. And then others have tried to play it as a substitute to Gagliardini or Barella. So more of a very quantity-oriented midfielder, which, again, you really lose what you just mentioned before, the quality of the passes. Why is that so? Hard to say, because indeed we're seeing that the quality is still there. Also with the Portuguese national team, to be quite frank, he always performed way above what he was doing in Italy. So I think it's just a matter of how you put it and what you ask the player to do.
Mm-hmm. And following of what we asked in terms of Portugal, we need to talk about a meme of the week, which was a delight in terms of how to get money fast. It's very easy. You just need to find a quote of Sergio Conceição, Porto's manager, in which he criticizes another manager for playing very defensively. If you manage to do that, he will personally give you 1 million euros. It's a promise.
Shall we also
Elaborate for
apply
the
for that? Yes.
Please elaborate the plan. I need the 1 million right now. I need to buy the PS5. It's getting expensive on eBay.
Definitely.
Very well. Perfect. Anything else, or should we say goodbye for this
No,
Thursday?
I actually had one question for you, Alex. I am very surprised that Rio Ave is not first, and I wanted to ask you how that is actually possible.
Yeah, I think it's a surprise, and not. I think the only thing I can say to justify their not being first, they don't have to play against Milan every week. If they had, they'd probably be first right now.
Touche.
So that was it, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers. Bye bye.